Jack Morrison floated in the cold darkness of space, his salvage ship moving slowly through the asteroid field. He had been working alone for 3 years now, searching through the broken pieces of old ships and space stations. It was quiet work, and Jack liked it that way. The silence helped him forget the pain he carried in his heart. His ship's scanner made a soft, beeping sound. Jack looked at the screen and saw something unusual. There was a small object drifting between two large rocks. It was not moving like the other space junk around it. This looked different. Jack moved his ship closer to get a better look. As he got near, he could see it was an escape pod, but it was not like any human pod he had ever seen before. The metal was a strange silver color that seemed to glow softly. Strange symbols were carved into its surface. The pod was badly damaged. There were burn marks all over it, and one side had a large hole. Jack could see that whatever had happened to this pod, it had been violent. He checked his scanner again. The pod was still giving off a weak power signal, which meant someone might still be alive inside. Jack knew he should call the authorities. Finding alien technology was supposed to be reported to the Colonial Federation right away. But something made him pause. Maybe it was the way the pod looked so small and broken in the vast darkness of space. Maybe it was because he remembered what it felt like to be alone and hurt. He made his decision quickly. Jack used his ship's grabber arm to pull the escape pod into his cargo bay. As soon as it was inside, he put on his spacesuit and went to look at it more closely. The pod was even stranger up close. The metal felt warm to the touch, and the symbols seemed to move slightly when he was not looking directly at them. Jack found what looked like a door, but he could not figure out how to open it. He tried pushing different symbols, but nothing worked. Then he heard a sound from inside the pod. It was very quiet, but it sounded like someone breathing. Someone was definitely alive in there. Jack worked faster, running his hands along the pod's surface, looking for any way to get inside. Finally, one of the symbols glowed brighter when he touched it. The door made a soft hissing sound and slowly opened. Jack stepped back, not knowing what to expect. Inside the pod, lying on what looked like a medical bed, was a girl. But she was not human. Her skin was a pale blue color that seemed to glow softly in the dim light. She was tall and thin, with long white hair that floated around her head like she was underwater. Her eyes were closed, but Jack could see they were large and shaped differently than human eyes. She was hurt badly. There were cuts on her arms and face, and her breathing was very shallow. Jack could see burn marks on her strange clothing. Whatever had happened to her, she needed help right away. Jack had some medical supplies on his ship, but nothing designed for aliens. He did not even know if human medicine would work on her, but he had to try. He carefully lifted her from the pod and carried her to his ship's small medical room. As he worked to clean her wounds, Jack noticed more things about her. Her blood was a dark purple color, and her skin felt cooler than human skin. Her hands had 4 long fingers instead of 5, and her ears were pointed. She was definitely not from Earth. While he bandaged her cuts, the alien girl opened her eyes. They were large and silver, like mirrors. When she saw Jack, she tried to sit up quickly, but she was too weak. She made sounds that Jack could not understand. Her voice was musical, like singing, but he could tell she was scared. Jack spoke to her in a soft voice. "It's okay. I'm not going to hurt you. You're safe now." He did not think she understood his words, but his tone seemed to calm her a little. She stopped trying to get away and just watched him with those strange silver eyes. Jack finished treating her wounds as best he could. He gave her some water, and she drank it slowly. Then he brought her some simple food, but she just looked at it without eating. Jack realized she probably did not know what human food was. The alien girl seemed very tired. Jack helped her lie down on the medical bed and covered her with a blanket. She closed her eyes, but Jack could tell she was not really sleeping. She was listening to every sound, ready to run if she needed to. Jack sat in a chair nearby and watched her. He wondered who she was and where she came from. Her escape pod had been badly damaged, which meant her ship had probably been destroyed. She might be the only survivor of whatever had happened. As the hours passed, Jack found himself thinking about his own losses. He had lost his wife and daughter in a terrible accident 5 years ago. The pain had been so bad that he left Earth and came out to the asteroid belt to be alone. But now, looking at this hurt and scared alien girl, he remembered what it felt like to want to help someone. The girl slept for many hours. When she woke up, she seemed a little stronger. She looked around the medical room and then at Jack. This time, she did not seem as frightened. She said something in her musical language and pointed to herself. Then she pointed to Jack. Jack understood. She was trying to tell him her name. He pointed to himself and said clearly, "Jack." Then he pointed to her and waited. She looked at him for a long moment. Then she spoke one word that sounded like music. "Zara." Jack smiled. "Zara," he repeated. "Nice to meet you, Zara." For the first time since he found her, the alien girl almost smiled back. It was just a small movement of her lips, but Jack saw it. In that moment, he knew his life was about to change in ways he could never imagine. Days passed slowly on Jack's small ship. Zara grew stronger each day, but she was still very careful around Jack. She would watch him from across the room, ready to hide if he moved too quickly. Jack understood her fear. She had been hurt badly, and he was a stranger from a species she had never seen before. Jack tried to make her feel safe. He moved slowly when she was around, and always let her see what he was doing. When he brought her food, he would eat some first to show her it was safe. Slowly, Zara began to trust him a little more. The ship's computer had a translation program, but it was designed for known alien languages. Zara's language was completely new to the system. Jack spent hours trying to teach the computer her words, and Zara seemed to understand what he was doing. She began to help, speaking slowly and pointing to things around the ship. After a week, they could have simple conversations. Zara's voice was still musical, but now Jack could understand some of her words. She learned human words quickly, much faster than Jack learned hers. One evening, as they shared a meal, Zara began to tell Jack about herself. Her words were simple, but the sadness in her voice was clear. "My people," she said slowly, "are called Viridian. We lived on a beautiful world with 3 moons. Our cities were built in harmony with nature. We never hurt anyone. We only wanted to learn and grow." Jack listened carefully as Zara continued her story. Her silver eyes became dark with pain as she spoke. "The Dominion came to our world. They are many different alien races who conquer others. They wanted our technology, but we said no. We do not make weapons. We only make things to help and heal." Zara's hands shook as she remembered. "They burned our cities. They killed everyone. My family tried to get me to the escape pods, but the ships were shooting at us. I saw my parents die trying to save me." Jack felt his heart break for her. He knew what it was like to lose family, but he could not imagine watching his whole world die. "I am sorry," Jack said quietly. "I lost my family too. Not the same way, but the pain is similar." Zara looked at him with curiosity. Jack had not talked about his past to anyone in years, but something about Zara made him want to share. "I had a wife named Amy and a daughter named Katie," Jack said. "They were traveling to a new colony world. Their ship had an accident. Everyone died. I could not save them because I was not there." Zara reached across the table and gently touched Jack's hand. Her skin was cool, but her touch was warm with understanding. "We both lost everything," she said softly. From that day, Jack and Zara became closer. They shared stories about their families and their worlds. Jack showed Zara old movies and music from Earth. She loved the music most of all. Sometimes she would sing along in her own language, creating beautiful harmonies. Zara taught Jack about Viridian culture. Her people believed that all life was connected through the energy of stars. They had learned to use this energy to power their cities and heal their sick. They never used it for weapons. "Your people sound wonderful," Jack said one day. "They were," Zara replied sadly. "Now I am the only one left. All their knowledge will die with me." Jack could see that this thought made Zara very sad. She felt responsible for keeping her people's memory alive. But she was just one person dot as the weeks passed. Jack began to change his ship to make Zara more comfortable. He set up a small room where she could practice Viridian meditation. Zara would sit quietly and seem to glow softly while she connected with what she called star energy. Jack also began teaching Zara how to use the ship's controls. She learned very quickly and seemed to understand the technology better than most humans. "Wood, your people are very smart," Jack said as he watched her fix a problem with the navigation system. "All Viridians learn science from childhood," Zara explained. "We believe knowledge should be shared, not hidden." One day, while they were eating lunch, Zara said something that made Jack worry. "The Dominion will never stop looking for me," she said. "I know things about Viridian technology that they want. If they find me, they will make me tell them everything." "What kind of things?" Jack asked. Zara was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, "My father was a scientist. Before he died, he told me the location of something very important. It is a place where all Viridian knowledge is stored. The Dominion does not know about it, but if they caught me, they could make me tell them." Jack felt a chill run down his back. What would happen if they found this place? "They would have all our science," Zara said. "Our energy shields, our healing technology, our faster-than-light communication. They would become too powerful to stop." Jack realized that Zara was not just a refugee. She was carrying secrets that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. No wonder the Dominion was hunting her. "We need to be very careful," Jack said. "If anyone finds out what you know, we will both be in danger." Zara nodded. "I trust you, Jack. You saved my life when you could have left me to die. You are a good person." Jack felt something he had not felt in years. He had a purpose again. Protecting Zara and keeping her secrets safe gave his life meaning. But their peaceful time together could not last forever. One morning, Jack's scanner picked up something that made his blood run cold. There were ships approaching, and they were not human vessels. "Zara?" Jack called urgently. "We have company." Zara looked at the scanner display, and her face went pale. She recognized the ship design. "Dominion Patrol," she whispered. "They found us." Jack quickly began powering up his ship's engines. They had to run, and they had to run fast. Their quiet life together was over. The real danger was just beginning. The Dominion patrol ship was getting closer. Jack could see it clearly on his scanner now. It was 3 times bigger than his small salvage vessel and covered with weapons. There was no way he could fight it and win. "Hide in the back room," Jack told Zara quickly. "Do not come out no matter what happens." Zara looked scared, but she nodded and ran to the small storage room at the back of the ship. Jack sealed the door behind her and tried to make his ship look normal. He scattered some salvage parts around the main room and turned on his mining equipment. The Dominion ship sent a message to Jack's radio. The voice that came through was harsh and angry. "Human vessel, stop your engines." "We are coming aboard to search your ship." Jack had no choice. He stopped his engines and waited. A few minutes later, he heard the sound of the alien ship connecting to his. Heavy footsteps echoed through his ship as the Dominion soldiers entered. 3 aliens walked into Jack's main room. They were tall and covered in dark scales. Their eyes were yellow and cold. Jack had seen pictures of their species before. They were called Kreks, and they were known for being cruel. "I am Commander Voth," the largest alien said. His voice sounded like rocks grinding together. "We are looking for a fugitive, a Viridian female. Have you seen anything unusual in this area?" Jack tried to look calm, but his heart was beating very fast. "No, sir, nothing unusual. Just me and my salvage work. Been out here for weeks without seeing anyone." Commander Voth walked around Jack's ship, looking at everything carefully. His yellow eyes missed nothing. The other 2 soldiers checked the different rooms, opening cabinets and moving things around. "What is your business here, human?" Voth asked. "Salvage operator," Jack replied. "I collect scrap metal and old ship parts. Sell them at the trading stations." One of the other soldiers called out from the kitchen area, "Commander, I found something." Jack's stomach dropped. The soldier was holding one of the strange fruits that Zara had asked for. Jack had bought it at a distant trading post because she said it reminded her of home. "This is Viridian fruit," the soldier said. "Very rare. Why does a human salvage worker have this?" Jack thought quickly. "Found it in an old wreck last week. Thought it might be worth something to collectors. You know how some people like exotic things." Commander Voth stared at Jack for a long moment. Jack could feel those yellow eyes trying to see into his soul. Finally, Voth nodded slowly. "Perhaps," he said. "But we will be watching this area more carefully now. If you see anything unusual, you will report it immediately." "Of course," Jack said. "Always happy to help the authorities." The Dominion soldiers left Jack's ship, but Jack could see them placing a small device on his hull before they went back to their vessel. It was a tracking device. Now they would know everywhere he went. Jack waited until the Dominion ship was gone before he let Zara out of the storage room. She was shaking with fear. "They put a tracker on my ship," Jack told her. "We cannot stay here. We need to go somewhere safe." "Where can we go?" Zara asked. "A Dominion has ships everywhere." Jack thought about their options. They could not go to most trading stations because Dominion agents would be watching. They could not stay in the asteroid field because the patrol would come back. "We need to reach Federation space," Jack decided. "The human government might protect you." Zara looked worried. "What if they want to use me too? What if they want the Viridian secrets for themselves?" "Maybe," Jack admitted. "But humans are not like the Dominion. We do not destroy entire worlds just to take what we want." They began flying toward the border of human space. It would take several days to get there, and Jack knew the Dominion would be following them the whole way. He tried to make their path look natural, stopping at a few wrecks to collect salvage like he normally would. On the second day, more Dominion ships appeared on their scanner. Jack could see at least 5 vessels now, all moving in their direction. The aliens were taking no chances. "They are getting ready to attack," Zara said, looking at the display. "Not yet," Jack replied. "They want to see where we are going first. But we need to move faster." Jack pushed his engines harder than he normally would. His old ship was not built for speed, but it was all they had. Behind them, the Dominion ships kept getting closer. Finally, after 3 days of running, they reached the edge of Federation space. Jack sent out a distress signal on the emergency frequency. "This is Jack Morrison, aboard the salvage vessel Lucky Strike. I have important information for Federation Command. Request immediate assistance." A reply came quickly. Jack Morrison. This is Captain Lisa Rodriguez of the Federation cruiser New Hope. We are moving to your position. What is the nature of your emergency? Jack looked at Zara. Once he answered that question, there would be no going back. Their quiet life together would be over forever. I have a refugee aboard my ship, Jack said into the radio. She has information that could be very important to the Federation. What kind of information? Captain Rodriguez asked. Before Jack could answer, alarms started ringing on his ship. The Dominion vessels had crossed into Federation space and were heading straight for them. Captain Rodriguez, Jack said urgently, I have 5 Dominion warships chasing me. They want my passenger very badly. I think you need to see what I have found. We are almost there, Rodriguez replied. Hold on. Jack Morrison. Jack could see the Federation ship now, a sleek white vessel much larger than the Dominion patrol ships. But the Dominion had more ships, and they were spreading out to surround both Jack and the Federation cruiser. This is going to be a fight, Jack told Zara. Zara closed her eyes and seemed to concentrate. Jack, there might be something I can do to help, but I will need to tell the Federation about Viridian technology. Are you sure? Jack asked. Zara opened her silver eyes and looked at him. You risked everything to save me. Now I must risk everything to save you. The space around them suddenly filled with weapons fire as the battle began. Jack held on tight as his small ship was caught between 2 powerful fleets. Their fate now depended on whether the Federation could protect them from the Dominion's fury. The space battle was unlike anything Jack had ever seen. Bright beams of energy flew between the ships like deadly lightning. The Federation cruiser New Hope was fighting hard, but the 5 Dominion ships were winning. Their weapons were more powerful, and they had better shields. Jack's small ship shook violently as explosions happened all around them. He tried to keep them safe, but his salvage vessel was not built for combat. A piece of metal from a destroyed Dominion fighter hit their hull, making a loud crash. We need to get to the Federation ship, Jack shouted over the noise. Captain Rodriguez's voice came through the radio. Jack Morrison, we are trying to clear a path for you. Get ready to dock with us as soon as possible. But before Jack could move his ship closer, a Dominion energy beam hit them directly. The blast threw both Jack and Zara across the room. Jack hit the wall hard and felt something break inside his chest. Pain shot through his body as he tried to breathe. Zara crawled over to him. Blood was running down her blue face from a cut on her forehead. Jack, you are hurt badly. Jack could taste blood in his mouth. Every breath was painful. The ship, he said weakly. Need to get to Rodriguez. I will pilot us there, Zara said. She helped Jack to a chair and then took control of the ship. Her hands moved over the controls like she had been flying human ships all her life as they moved toward the New Hope. Another Dominion blast hit them. This time, sparks flew from the control panel and the lights went out. Emergency power came on, but Jack could tell his ship was dying. We are not going to make it, Zara said. Looking at the damaged systems, Jack tried to stand up, but the pain in his chest was too much. He fell back into the chair, breathing hard. Zara, you need to save yourself. Tell Rodriguez about the Viridian archive. It is more important than me. No, Zara said firmly. You saved me when I had nothing. I will not leave you. She closed her eyes and put her hands on the ship's main computer. Jack watched in amazement as her blue skin began to glow brighter. The computer screens around them lit up with symbols he had never seen before. What are you doing? Jack asked. I am sharing Viridian shield technology with the Federation ships, Zara explained. Her voice sounded strained, like she was lifting something very heavy. But first I must tell them where to find the complete archive. Through the radio, they could hear Captain Rodriguez talking to her crew. Our shields just became 3 times stronger. How is that possible? Zara opened her eyes and spoke into the radio. Captain Rodriguez, this is Zara. I am the Viridian. On Jack's ship, I have given your computers the basic shield technology of my people. But there is much more. More technology? Rodriguez asked. Yes, Zara replied. There is a hidden archive that contains all Viridian knowledge. It is in the Maelstrom Nebula, 3 sectors from here. But only someone with Viridian genetics can navigate the nebula safely. Jack listened as Zara explained about the archive. He was proud of her courage, but he was also worried. The Dominion ships were listening to their conversation too. Sure enough, the Dominion commander's voice came over the radio. The Viridian will come with us, or we will destroy all of you. Never, Captain Rodriguez replied. The Federation protects refugees. The battle continued, but now the Federation ship was winning. With the improved shields, the Dominion weapons could barely hurt them. One by one, the alien ships were destroyed or forced to retreat. When the fighting was over, Jack's ship was. Brought aboard the New Hope, medical teams rushed to help both Jack and Zara. Jack was taken to the ship's hospital, where the doctors worked to repair his broken ribs and internal injuries. While Jack was recovering, Zara worked with Federation scientists to understand the shield technology she had shared. The results amazed everyone. Human ships could now defend themselves against almost any attack. But Zara was worried about Jack. She stayed by his bed in the hospital, holding his hand with her cool fingers. You must get better, she told him. We still have work to do. Jack was weak, but he could see the determination in her silver eyes. The archive, he said quietly. Yes, Zara nodded. The Dominion heard everything. They will try to find it before we do. If they get there first, they will destroy it rather than let anyone else have it. Captain Rodriguez came to visit them in the hospital. She was a tall woman with kind eyes, but Jack could see she was also very worried. The Federation Council has approved a mission to the nebula, she told them. But it will be dangerous. The Dominion is sending their entire battle fleet to stop us. I have to go, Zara said. I am the only one who can guide you safely through the nebula. And I am going with her, Jack said, trying to sit up in bed. Jack, you are badly injured, Rodriguez protested. You need weeks of recovery time. Zara trusts me, Jack replied. She has been through enough. I will not let her face this alone. The doctors were not happy, but they agreed to use advanced Federation medical technology to speed up Jack's healing. Special machines repaired his broken bones and healed his internal injuries in just a few days instead of weeks. While Jack recovered, more Federation ships arrived. Soon they had a fleet of 12 vessels, all equipped with the new Viridian shield technology. But spy reports said the Dominion was gathering over 30 ships. We will be outnumbered, Rodriguez said during a planning meeting. Numbers do not matter if we can reach the archive, Zara replied. The knowledge there will change everything. Jack looked at Zara as she spoke to the Federation officers. She had grown from a scared, injured refugee into a leader. But he could still see the sadness in her eyes when she thought about her lost people. Whatever happens, Jack told her quietly, your people's memory will live on. Zara squeezed his hand. Because of you, Jack Morrison. Because you chose to help someone who had nothing. The next day, their fleet began the journey to the Maelstrom Nebula. Behind them, they knew the Dominion fleet was following. The final battle for the future of the galaxy was about to begin. The Maelstrom Nebula was the most beautiful and dangerous place Jack had ever seen. Clouds of purple, blue, and gold gas swirled around them like a painted storm. Lightning jumped between the gas clouds, and strange energy fields made the ships. Instruments go crazy. The nebula hides the archive from sensors. Zara explained as she guided their small ship through the colorful maze. But it also makes flying very dangerous. One wrong turn, and we will be lost forever. Behind them, Jack could see the Federation and Dominion fleets fighting at the edge of the nebula. Explosions lit up the gas clouds like fireworks. Captain Rodriguez was keeping the Dominion ships busy while Jack and Zara went after the archive. There. Zara pointed ahead. I can feel it. Jack looked where she was pointing and gasped. Rising out of the swirling gas was a structure that looked like it was made of crystal and starlight. It was bigger than any building Jack had ever seen, floating in space like a small moon. That is the archive? Jack asked. Yes, Zara said softly. My people spent 1,000 years building it. All our knowledge, our art, our music, our dreams for the future. Everything is stored there. As they got closer, Jack could see that the archive was not just one building. It was many crystal towers connected by bridges of light. The whole structure glowed with the same soft blue light as Zara's skin. They docked their ship at what looked like an entrance. The moment they stepped inside, Jack felt something change. The air itself seemed alive with energy. The walls were covered with the same flowing symbols he had seen on Zara's escape pod. It is beautiful, Jack said. Zara was crying. Not from sadness, but from joy. I can hear them, she whispered. My people, their voices are still here. She led Jack to the center of the archive, where a large crystal pillar reached from the floor to the ceiling. Zara placed her hands on the crystal and closed her eyes. Immediately, the entire archive came alive with light and sound. I am downloading everything, Zara said, but it will take time. While Zara worked, Jack heard sounds from outside. The Dominion had sent soldiers through the nebula on small, fast ships. They were boarding the archive. Keep working, Jack told Zara. I will hold them off. Jack had brought weapons from the Federation ship. He was not a soldier, but he would fight to protect Zara and the archive. The first Dominion soldiers came through the entrance, their yellow eyes glowing in the crystal light. The battle inside. The archive was fierce. The Dominion soldiers were trained fighters, but Jack knew every corner of the building now. He used the crystal pillars for cover and fought with everything he had. More soldiers kept coming. Jack was getting tired, and he was running out of ammunition. But then something amazing happened. The archive itself began to help him. The crystal walls started glowing brighter, confusing the enemy soldiers. Energy fields appeared that slowed down the aliens, but did not affect Jack. The archive recognizes you as a friend, Zara called out. It is protecting you. Finally, after what felt like hours, Zara finished her work. I have it all, she said. Every piece of Viridian knowledge is now saved. They ran back to their ship as more Dominion soldiers arrived. Jack's chest still hurt from his injuries, but he pushed through the pain. They had to get the archive data back to the Federation fleet dot. As they flew out of the nebula, Jack could see that the space battle was almost over. The Federation ships, with their new Viridian shields, had defeated most of the Dominion fleet. The remaining alien ships were retreating. We did it, Jack said, hardly believing it. Yes, Zara replied. But this is just the beginning. Back on the Federation flagship, scientists worked day and night to understand the Viridian knowledge. The results were incredible. In just a few weeks, human technology jumped forward by hundreds of years. Federation ships became faster and stronger. New medicines were developed that could cure diseases that had killed people for centuries. Energy sources were created that could power entire planets without pollution. But the most important thing was not the technology. It was the Viridian philosophy of peace and cooperation. The archive contained not just scientific data, but stories, songs, and teachings about living in harmony with others. Other alien species that had been fighting the Dominion began to join with the humans. They formed a new alliance based on the Viridian principles of helping each other instead of conquering. The Dominion Empire, faced with this growing alliance of peaceful species, began to fall apart. Many of their member races chose to leave and join the new coalition. Zara became the ambassador for her extinct people. She traveled to different worlds, teaching others about Viridian culture and making sure their memory would never be forgotten. Jack stayed with her, no longer a lonely salvage operator, but her friend and protector. Together, they started a foundation to help refugee species and preserve the cultures of people who had lost their homes. Years later, Jack and Zara visited a new human colony where Viridian building methods had been used to create cities that worked with nature instead of destroying it. Children from many different species played together in parks designed using Viridian science. "Look at what we started," Zara said. Watching the children laugh and play, Jack smiled. "You started it. I just gave you a place to stay." "No," Zara sighed, taking his hand. "You gave me hope. You showed me that even when everything seems lost, there are still good people who will help a stranger in need." Jack thought about the day he found Zara's escape pod floating in the darkness. He had been running from his pain, living alone among the asteroids. But choosing to help her had given his life new meaning. "I used to think I had lost everything," Jack said, "but helping you taught me that sometimes when you give what little you have to someone who has nothing, you both end up with more than you ever imagined." The galaxy was changing. Where there had once been fear and war, now there was hope and cooperation. And it all started because one human salvage operator decided to open his heart to an alien girl who had lost everything. The Dominion's rule was ending, and a new age of peace was beginning. All because Jack Morrison chose kindness over fear, and Zara found the courage to trust again. Together, they had changed not just their own lives, but the future of countless worlds.